Hello folks, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the Village Manager for the Village of Villa Park. So today's one of our segments where I'll be talking about an upcoming board meeting agenda. So today's segment, we're going to be talking about Monday, January 13th official board agenda. So let's start. So for number one, for Monday, January 13th, on the agenda is the call to order. It's the roll call. Number two is the Pledge of Allegiance. Number three is public comments on agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium and comment on items that are actually on the agenda. Moving on, number four is amendments to the agenda. Folks, that's the appropriate time for the president or board of trustees to revise or modify the agenda for that evening. Number five is a discussion item. So we have 5A, which is School District 45 presentation by Superintendent Dr. Anthony Palmisano. At its December 16th, 2019 Board of Education meeting, the School Board District Education discussed their resolution to provide for and require the submission of a proposition issuing school building bonds to the voters of the district at the March 17th, 2020 general primary election. As a courtesy to the village board, Dr. Palmisano will update the village on the district's plan. So we're going to hear about School District 45's question that'll be on the March 17th ballot, what that has to do, maybe how much bonds they intend to seek approval to issue, and what those bond proceeds will be used to improve, create, or construct. So moving on, for Monday night, January 13th, we have number 6, which is the consent agenda. So we have 6A, we have bill listing for the weeks of December 16th, December 23rd, December 30th, 2019, and January 6th, 2020, in the total amount of $1,830,704.12. Then we also have 6B, which are minutes from the board meeting held on December 16th, 2019. So moving on to number 7 for Monday night, we have a first reading on ordinances to be codified. We have 7A, excuse me, which is a first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, increasing the number of Class AA tavern unrestricted liquor licenses. So folks, the background on this item is as follows. Standard Meadery, located at 11-A West Park Boulevard, intends to manufacture, sell, and distribute mead, wine, and cider for on-site consumption and packaged to go. This ordinance will create a Class AA tavern unrestricted license for consumption on the premises and sale of alcoholic liquor at retail in original packages. This will bring the total number of Class AA licenses to A. This ordinance also restates the total number of liquor licenses for each class, including the addition of Divine and 302 on Tap, which replace selective liquors. So folks, we have Standard Meadery wishing to open at 11A West Park Boulevard to sell and distribute mead, wine, and cider. It's kind of a different business, kind of exciting. And so this item for Monday night is the increase of Class AA tavern unrestricted liquor licenses. Excuse me. So moving on to 7B for Monday night, January 13th, is the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the fee structure for parking violations in the Villa Park Municipal Code. So folks, the background of this particular item is that the police department has identified several vehicle owners with multiple unpaid parking tickets. All attempts to collect fines owed to the village have been ignored. Since January of 2019, 17 vehicles have received tickets with the current fine amounts totaling over $2,000. That's $2,000 each. 5 of those owe more than $5,000. The village is experiencing difficulty in collecting overdue fines related to unpaid parking tickets. Village Code currently contains a section to provide for the immobilization of motor vehicles for outstanding unpaid violations. It is recommended that the ordinance be updated to allow for fewer number of violations to qualify for immobilization and a revised fee structure. So folks, we've got at least 17 vehicles with many unpaid parking tickets. And what we wish to do and have the board consider is to revise the current village code so that instead of having 10 unpaid parking tickets, which would qualify a vehicle to be immobilized or booted, if you will, we want to lower that down to 5 and then increase the fines or fees, which would, so what would happen is if you had more than 5 unpaid parking tickets, the Village of Villa Park Police Department would notify you in writing that your vehicle, if it received more than 5 unpaid parking tickets, would be booted or immobilized. And then to take the boot off, you would have to pay all of your unpaid parking citations or fines, if you will, before the boot can be removed. And so that's one way to achieve being paid for the unpaid parking tickets. So moving on to number 8 for Monday night, the 13th of January, the second reading on ordinances to be codified. So we have 8A, which is a second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code by increasing the number of Class AAA liquor licenses. So folks, the background on this particular item is in November of 2017 and again in June of 2019, the Village Board awarded a Class B liquor license to the owner of 302 East St. Charles Road for the establishment of the Beverage Hub. The owners now have changed their business plan, the name of the proposed establishment to 302 on Tap, also known as Selective Liquors, and have appealed to the board for a new liquor license. At the board meeting held on December 2nd, 2019, the board voted to proceed with the necessary steps to issue a new class of liquor license to the new owner, Mr. James Anthony. This ordinance will approve an increase in the number of Class AAA licenses. So, with approval of this license, along with the approval of Agenda Item 8B, there would be a total of 2 AAA liquor licenses. So, folks, this is the establishment located on St. Charles Road at 302, excuse me, Selective Liquors, which they would surrender their B license and assume the AAA license if approved on Monday. And so it's a very interesting business where you'd be able to pour your own liquor, purchase liquor to take home with you if you liked what you had at the establishment. So, excuse me, so moving on to 8B for Monday night is a second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code by increasing the number of Class AAA liquor licenses. So folks, the background of this particular item is that the owner of 339 East Kenilworth, Debbie DeMito, has requested a Class AAA tavern beer and wine only liquor license, which would be used to operate a new business called Divine. Divine will be a wine tasting bar with the option to purchase packaged liquor. No food would be served. With approval of this license, along with the approval of Agenda Item 8A, there would be a total of 2 AAA liquor licenses. So folks, just as I mentioned, the owner of 339 East Kenilworth, Ms. DeMito, wishes to own or operate a wine tasting bar. So if this liquor license is approved Monday night, that would go into effect. And again, this is kind of an exciting endeavor, a wine tasting bar at 339 East Kenilworth. So that's just obviously to the west of South Villa, very near Ms. DeMito's other establishment, Double D's. So moving on to 8C for Monday night, it's the second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code relating to liquor licenses and adding a class Quad E, that's 4 E's, Restaurant Unrestricted License Classification. So folks, the background on this item is that this ordinance creates a new class of liquor license that allows consumption of alcohol on the premises of a business, but specifies that no gaming will be permitted. No licenses will be assigned at this time. So folks, on this particular item, we're just creating a new liquor license class, a class that does not permit gaming. So you can sell liquor, but you'll have no gaming machines on the premises. So moving on to 8D for Monday night, which is the second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending Village Code, revising the established meeting dates of various commissions. So folks, the background for this particular item is that the Village Code currently requires that the Traffic and Safety Commission meet on the second Tuesday of each month. This standing date has been difficult for the Commission to establish a quorum to hold their meetings. Membership of the Commission has requested that the Village Code be revised, to state that the Commission shall meet at least monthly on a certain date and time as determined by the chairperson. The Traffic and Safety Commission intends to meet the first Tuesday of every month beginning in January of 2020. Also, the proposed ordinance revises Village Code relating to the specific standing meeting date contained in the code for each of the remaining commissions as well. With this revision, all commissions shall meet at least monthly on a certain date and time as determined by the chairperson, and will still be required to schedule regular meeting dates for the year. Meeting dates are published annually and posted in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. So folks, this particular item, 8D, relates to various commissions having difficulties reaching quorums so that they can conduct their business. And so by revising Village Code, that the commission chairperson can establish the meeting with the membership so that it meets the needs of the membership and not having to change Village Code all the time because a certain date and time has been established. So it'll allow the commissions to meet more regularly and have a quorum. So moving on to number 9 for Monday night, we have 9A, which is ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, deleting certain uses, adding cannabis dispensing facility and medical cannabis dispensing facility as special uses in the C3 Service Business District, and adding new section 6.4.18 to Article 6, referencing cannabis businesses, including definitions, prohibitions, and restrictions. So folks, the background on this particular item is that it's meeting on December 12, 2019, the Zoning and Planning Commission recommended approval of a text amendment to Appendix C of the Villa Park Municipal Code, known as the Zoning Code, placing additional regulations to recreation and medical cannabis dispensing facilities in Villa Park. Such changes to the zoning code include, but are not limited to, adding both medical and recreational cannabis dispensaries as special uses in the C3 zoning district, deleting and updating certain definitions relating to the new cannabis law in Illinois, and placing more specific restrictions on cannabis dispensaries, such as hours of operation and proximity to other dispensaries. The Zoning and Planning Commission recommended approval of these text amendments. So folks, this is just one more item where staff is revising our village code because of the newly enacted recreational cannabis law effective January 1st. So we're updating certain definitions in the zoning code, doing the special uses in the C3 business district and things of that nature. So it flows better, and it also gives code enforcement opportunities to the police as needed. So moving on to 9B is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, adding planned unit developments and special uses, deleting section 5-1 PUD district from the zoning ordinance and adding PUDs as special uses to table 6-1. So folks, the background for this particular item is the proposed ordinance modifies Appendix C, commonly referred to as the zoning ordinance of the Villa Park Municipal Code, by revising how planned unit developments, also known as PUDs, are processed. The current process requires that PUDs are processed in 2 steps. This amendment requires only a single step to attain a special use. The Zoning and Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of this text amendment at their regularly scheduled meeting on December 12, 2019. So folks, this particular item revises the village code so that PUD special uses are now going to be one-step processes, which is much more developer friendly. So moving on to 10 for Monday night, January 13th, we have resolutions. So we have 10A. We have a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving partial change order number 1 to the contract with A-Lamp Concrete Contractors, Inc. of Schaumburg, Illinois, for the 2019 pavement patching program for a net increase in the amount of $96,900. So folks, the background for this item is that in September of 2019, the board approved a contract with A-Lamp Concrete Contractors, Inc. of Schaumburg, Illinois, for the project commonly known as the 2019 Pavement Patching Program. The 2019 program has been expanded to accommodate some of the 2020 work, thereby increasing contract quantities with proposed partial change order number 1. The amount of this proposed change order number 1 is a net increase of $96,900 for an adjusted final contract amount of $294,400. So folks, we have not completed the 2019 street improvement project, so we're adding more work to it, and we're going to be doing that in 2020. And so the full contract amount is $294,400. So moving on to 10B for Monday night, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the lease termination and general release with Clear Wireless for their lease of space on the water tower located at 11 West Home Avenue. Mobile carriers commonly lease space on the village's water towers to provide stronger services and signals to their customers. Clear Wireless, also known as Clearwire, and doing business as Sprint, has established an agreement with the village for equipment on the water tower located at 20 West Home Avenue. Clearwire has notified the village of their intent to terminate their existing lease. The agreement being considered requires Clearwire to restore the village's property to its original condition prior to the existing agreement, and then leave their concrete pad for future use. So folks, the equipment that's being removed from the water tower is outdated equipment, and they're going to terminate their lease and then remove the outdated equipment, and we still have other cell carriers on the water tower. Excuse me. So moving on to 10C for Monday night. This is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, adopting a capital asset policy for the Village of Villa Park. Excuse me. The village's existing capital assets policy was adopted in 1989 and requires updating. Since the policy's adoption, there has been several changes to accounting rules, such as intangible assets like software and easement rights. These changes have been incorporated into the revised policy for consideration. primary policies have not changed, excuse me, which is the useful lives of major asset classes, such as roads, sewer mains, water mains. But the policy has been updated to be more user-friendly. Auditors have reviewed the policy for compliance to the latest Governmental Accounting Standards Board, also known as GASB rules. If adopted, this policy will be effective for the 2019 audit. So folks, we have a capital assets policy that was adopted in 1989, needs to be updated, so that's what we're doing. We're going to update it and make it more user-friendly and include some of the changes to policy since its adoption in '89. So moving on to 10D for Monday night, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an agreement with Express Solutions, Inc. for online bill presentment, payment, and credit card processing services in the total amount of $60,000. So folks, the background on this is that the village has been using the services of Payment Service Network, also called PSN, to provide online utility bill viewing and payments since 2013. When a customer pays with a credit card through PSN, they are charged a 2.75% fee, which discourages residents and customers from using credit cards. Many customers opt to pay with cash or check in person or through mail to avoid the fee. Customers often vocalize their preference for affordable online payment options and that PSN is difficult to navigate. So in the fall of 2019, staff issued a request for proposals for online bill payment and processing services. Of the two proposals received, Express Solutions, Inc. offers the most comprehensive services that meet the needs of the village residents and staff. If the village chooses to absorb the resident surcharge, an agreement with Express Solutions could cost a total of approximately $60,000 annually. It is recommended that the village enter an agreement with Express Solutions for online merchant processing and that the cost associated be absorbed by increasing the administrative fee from $150 to $2 per month. So folks, we have a consultant, PSN, that we've worked with since 2013 for online billing, and we've heard some complaints about how it's difficult to navigate that. And what staff would like to do is enter an agreement with Express Solutions, Inc., and then absorb the 2.75% fee charged to residents when they use their credit card. And then we would, the proposal is to increase the administrative fee from $150 to $2 per month, so 50 cents. And that would offset the 2.75% charge. But then everyone that does any type of billing with the village, water bills, sewer bills, even businesses, places of eating tax could pay with a credit card, making it much more simple to use and user-friendly. And so that's this particular proposal for Monday night. So moving on with the agenda for Monday, January 13th is number 11, which is public comments on non-agenda items. So folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium and comment on items that are not on the formal agenda that evening. Number 12 is the village clerk's report. Number 13 is the village trustees report. Number 14 is the village president's report. Number 15 is the village manager's report. And number 16 is adjournment. So folks, we have a kind of a lengthy agenda with many interesting items. So if you have some time, please tune in or come to the meeting in person and watch, listen, and maybe come to the podium and discuss your concerns or compliments. It'd be great to see you. So again, my name is Rich Keener. It's my honor to be your village manager for the Village of Villa Park. Hope to see you soon. Take care.